Good evening and welcome to the Guild for Exceptional Children's virtual Autumn Gala. I'm Ken Rosado, Channel 7 Eyewitness News anchor and the Master of Ceremonies for tonight's event. For the past 7 years, I've been honored to MC the gala. Like all of you, I feel like the Guild is part of my family. We can't and won't let COVID stop us. This year, the GEC is honoring their direct service professionals, DSPs, who always stand posted on the front line to care for children and adults living with developmental disabilities. We thank all the direct service professionals, known as DSPs, for their dedication, commitment, and service. The names of those being honored will scroll at the end of the program. 2020 has been an unprecedented year with incredible challenges. Your support is needed to help the GEC continue their mission of care. You can text GEC to number 56512 to make a contribution to this wonderful organization. All segments of the gala have been pre-recorded, except for the live raffle drawing that will take place after this presentation. At that time, we kindly ask you to go on the Guild for Exceptional Children's Facebook page for the live drawing. Good luck to all who purchased a ticket. In 1958, the GEC was founded by parents who wanted to provide better lives for their children with special needs. Let's take a look back at GEC's early years.
The Guild has been on the leading edge of services for people with developmental disabilities since the very beginning. They participated in lawsuits that forced the Department of Education to include children with special needs within their classes. When it came to providing services for adults, the Guild actually opened the very first residence to ever open in New York State, the Senator William T. Conklin and Jessie Conklin residence. Senator Conklin had a son with Down syndrome. And as his son and other children with developmental disabilities were getting older, the question was, well, where are they going to live? Will they live with me as their parent forever? Senator Conklin also went on to institute legislation that made it possible for New York State to actually pay for these residential services, because prior to that, it was all paid for through fundraising. The Guild has continued in that tradition. We today have a preschool that serves 225 students. We are serving hundreds of adults with developmental disabilities in our day programs, and we have 17 residences for these folks. Our success has been great, and we fought great odds throughout our history, and these challenges continue.
Caroline Mansueto, GEC's Director of Development, would like to take the opportunity to thank the major sponsors of tonight's event.
Thank you, Ken, for being a wonderful friend and great supporter to the GEC these many years. I also want to convey my congratulations to our DSPs for their incredible service and dedication during these challenging and difficult times. The GEC extends sincere, heartfelt appreciation to all those who took journal ads, raffle tickets, or made a contribution. I would like to acknowledge at this time our major sponsors for their generosity. Our esteemed co-event sponsors, Lamb Insurance Services and Sovereign Financial Group. In addition, our prestigious list of benefactors include Connors & Sullivan Attorneys at Law, Miss Barbara Jermack, Law Office of Dominic M. Recchia Jr., Hub International Northeast, and the Gabriel family. Also, our co-benefactor, Emblem Health. Thank you all for helping to strengthen GEC's mission of care. I hope you enjoy the program. Now back to you, Ken.
It is my pleasure to introduce Joseph Riley, GEC's CEO and Executive Director.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us at the Guild for Exceptional Children's virtual gala. Thank you also to our wonderful Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Ken Rosado from ABC, who graciously donates his time and considerable talent to supporting our worthy cause every year. Ken, you are a true gentleman and a humanitarian, and we are grateful to have you in our corner. This year, circumstances have forced us to do things a little bit differently. So instead of getting to mingle and enjoy some good food and cheer, we join each other virtually. But even though we are not physically in the same room, we are together, united in our belief that caring for the most vulnerable among us is the right thing to do, cohesive in our conviction that supporting and encouraging people with developmental disabilities is always a worthy mission. There are only two important things that tonight is really about. If you take anything away from tonight's event, please let it be these two things. The first is that we have some incredible people working here at GEC. They are often underappreciated and underpaid, and frequently overwhelmed by the awesome responsibilities they face. And they almost always mean the world to someone with developmental disabilities. Of course, I'm referring to the honorees of tonight's event, the Direct Support Professionals, or DSPs as we call them for short. The second is that the Guild for Exceptional Children needs your support now more than ever. Just text the letters GEC to 56512 and a link will come up that will enable you to donate. Or you can just donate the old-fashioned way with a check or a credit card. But I'll get back to that later. And don't forget to stick around because at the end of the ceremony tonight, there will be a live raffle. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the DSPs, the Direct Support Professionals. They are the backbone of what we do here at GEC, the most important job here at the agency. Under the best of circumstances, it is a challenging job. The DSPs provide physical assistance and care, instruction and encouragement, psychological and emotional support. It's a complex job with many aspects. They assist people with mobility challenges, provide daily hygiene and medical services, promote independence and choice, and perhaps most importantly, they make sure that the people in our care feel safe, supported, and loved. That's on a good day. That was before COVID. When the pandemic hit in March and people all over the state in congregate care settings were falling by the dozen, new elements were added to DSP's lives, and new elements were added to their work. New levels of creativity were needed to develop virtual services for those who couldn't leave their homes. New levels of self-sacrifice were realized as these incredible staff put the needs and safety of the individuals ahead of their own. Courage and dedication surfaced in every GEC facility as the staff sheltered in place for weeks at a time, or worked in one of our residential facilities, or in GEC's COVID unit, or in the hospital with COVID-positive patients. Heroes arose. The DSPs met these challenges the way they meet every challenge, with grace and love. And isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Isn't that what we all should aspire to? During this crisis, when I needed inspiration, I didn't have to look any further than our own direct support professionals. Now I'm going to take a minute to talk about the other reason that we're here. GEC needs your help now more than ever. I feel very much like I'm preaching to the choir here. You wouldn't be participating tonight if you didn't already believe in the GEC and support our mission. So thank you for that faith and that support. We do not live or work in a bubble, and frankly, we can't do this work alone. We rely on the kindness of our friends, families, and communities to make this work. We are entering into a very challenging time for the GEC, and in fact for anybody involved with people with developmental disabilities. COVID-19 has taken a toll on our services. We were forced to shut down some of our programs and reduce our staffing. While we hope that these conditions are temporary, the future has become a bit more uncertain and funding has become more scarce. New York State, facing its own budget crisis, has reduced funding for room and board in residential facilities by 20%, and we expect other cuts in the coming year to amount to more than $1 million. So I'm asking you to be part of our program to rebuild the Guild. Help us to reopen the programs that we had to close during COVID, rehire our wonderful staff, and continue our 62-year legacy of providing quality services to children and adults with developmental disabilities. Of course, I'm asking you to be generous and donate any way you can, but I'm also asking you to spread the word. Many of us have friends who have the means or the interest to support a worthy cause. Well, look no further. This is it. Circling back to our direct support professionals for one more moment, I mentioned earlier that they are heroes. I recently spoke with a DSP who prefers to remain anonymous, who has worked here at the Guild for Exceptional Children for some 25 years now. He also happens to be one of the wisest people I know. I asked him why he chooses to do the work that he does, and he told me that the people he serves teach him so much more than he is able to teach them, and give him so much more than he is able to give them. I think that that philosophy may sum up what is in many of our DSPs' hearts. Arthur Ashe famously said that true heroism is remarkably sober and undramatic. It is not the urge to surpass all others at whatever the cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever the cost. We have no shortage of heroes here at GEC. Heroes work here. We are asking you to join us. Be our hero. Help us to serve others at whatever the cost. And thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Next, I'd like to welcome GEC's president, Frank Senna.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending this virtual gala and supporting the Guild for Exceptional Children. Tonight, we are here to honor and celebrate a special kind of person and enjoy their successes and accomplishments. I may be the board president, but more importantly, I'm the proud father of a 36-year-old young lady with Down syndrome who lives at home but attends the day programs at the Guild. If you know Down's people, you know that it's a special, broad spectrum of abilities and disabilities that characterize them. But one common problem is their lack of communication skills. Typically, Down's people have trouble communicating, or more importantly, making other people understand them. But interestingly, when Elizabeth talks about the direct service providers at the GEC who care for her every day, she always, without exception, refers to them as my staff. So a child with difficulty mastering language can use such an intimate personal pronoun as my. I've always been amazed by that, and I think it speaks volumes about the value, the work ethic, the importance of, and the caring nature of our direct service providers. Before COVID, when the city bus was late, she had to call her staff to alert them. If she were sick and not able to attend, she would have to say, I have to let my staff know that I'm not coming to work. She would never use this pronoun if the bond between her and the direct service providers were not so strong. Also, when Elizabeth speaks about her staff and I question her about what's going on, for which she has absolutely no patience, she would always say, don't worry, Dad, they take care of me. So you see, language is not an obstacle when the most fundamental goodness of human interactions is involved. As board president and through its various committees, I see the complexity of what our agency deals with and the varied tasks which our DSPs must perform. I know very well my family is lucky my daughter is active, but not all of our people of that age are so lucky. Many 20 and 30-year-olds need one-on-one attention for basic life skills and are not as present and active in the community. We're talking about a very special type of care provided every day, of every week, of every month, of every year. Also, Please remember, we care for the first generation of people living outside massive state facilities. While some of that generation have passed away, many still live on, in large measure thanks to the care they receive from our DSP colleagues. Not surprisingly, all have the attendant problems that come with aging. They need special care in all routine aspects of life: eating, drinking, walking, bathing, sleeping. Who will cut their food? Who will deliver long-term medicines? Who will clean their incontinence? Who will soothe their embarrassment? Who will calm them in the twilight hours? Who will care for people in late-stage dementia? Every one of these needs is met in a different way by our trained, dedicated, direct care professionals. Our people live and die in their care. As older folks, and we all do, we get cantankerous with aging. Now imagine a residential setting with multiple clients exhibiting this behavior, presenting more social problems to resolve without having their fundamental rights as individuals infringed. We don't restrain, we don't sedate. So we have ever and new and more complicated protocols for interventions, counseling, remediation, consoling to develop and train our DSPs. Now imagine all of the above and locked down in a residence, sheltering from COVID-19 for months, or trying to reach people every day through Zoom or on a telephone call, trying to teach, entertain, counsel, or just be a friend, someone to talk to. Remember, please, our clients are not living in luxury, our facilities are not palatial, and our employees are not on the gravy train. When you step back and think about all that our DSPs do, it is easy to understand why we are honoring them today. We are here to recognize and thank our DSP staff for all they do in the best of times and in the worst of times. Thank you for listening, attending our gala, and your continued support for the GEC.
We will now hear a wonderful message from Linda, GEC's program participant, and DSP Sandra Rivera.
Hello, my name is Linda. I live at Canona's Residence, a part of the Guild for Accessible Children. I have been living here at this residence for the past 8 years. I have learned a lot from my staff. What I learned since living here, I learned with the help of my staff, guiding me and showing me every step of the way how to live independently. During the quarantine of COVID-19, my staff as well as my housemates learned how to be safe daily, practicing social distance and frequent hand washing. Zoom classes daily with my day program allow us to keep in touch with our workmates and staff. We have fun playing trivia, bingo, dancing, math, music class, socializing, exercise class, and cooking, all with the help of our day program. Staff entertain us daily. DSP staff work hard daily to keep us busy, entertained, happy, and safe during this pandemic. Cooking, baking, cleaning, games, movies, dancing, birthday parties, party celebrations, making sure we had fun while we stay indoors, safe. Learning proper hygiene of hand washing throughout the day, hot teas, hot coffees to drink, social distance, as well as the everyday difficult job of a DSP staff. This lifted my spirit as well as the spirit of my housemates, so that we wouldn't have to worry or fear what could be as a result of the virus. It was scary at first, and I was able to be careful instead of fearful, hoping to be able to return to normal routine so that I can earn money to live independently. Thank you, DSP staff, for supporting us and taking care of us and being here through the tough times and good times. And we love you, DSP staff, and you are number one.
At GEC, I'm a DSP at Sant'Angelo. I've been there going on 7 years. In the beginning, it was only supposed to be just a job. I never expected it become my second family. I would choose working over anything right about in any given day. They just became family. Life before the COVID crisis, every weekend we were out bowling, doing outdoor activities, going on outings and shopping, and they were always out in the community more than they were at home. Once the pandemic hit, it was like tearing their life away from them. They had to be stuck at home. There was no more program. They couldn't see their families. They considered it as prison. They used to say throughout the pandemic that they felt like they were in prison. It became really hard telling them, no, you can't go out, or always having to constantly explain to them the reasons why they couldn't go out and what was going on in the world without scaring them. Having to figure out activities to do, having to find games to play, movies to watch, things to keep their mind off of having to be locked inside. When before it was just, hey, I want to go here. Okay, let's go. We'll go this weekend. To, no, we can't go there this weekend. And then their main question was, how long is this going to last? And we never had an answer for them. We could never give them the answer, and that stressed them out more than anything. They missed their friends, they missed their families, and I think it put a big toll on a lot of their lives. Ways that I was able to make them feel, I wouldn't say better, but somewhat more sane and ordinary and normal was on Amazon I ordered arts and craft projects. I uploaded my Disney Plus and Netflix to the TV. I would go out and buy snacks for them so that we could do indoor movies instead of going out for movies. We did arts and crafts at home instead of coming to the program and doing arts and crafts. We would go out and sit in the backyard and have barbecues. We would video. I would bring my iPad in. They would video chat with their families so they could still see them, but it would make them feel a little closer than just talking on the phone. It was just anything they asked for, I would try to figure a way around of doing it at home since they couldn't go out and do it. In the beginning, we also bought snacks, and instead of going out and buying snacks, they would come to the basement, and with Monopoly money, they would buy snacks. So they still gave them that feeling of going out and doing what they wanted. It was really tough on me. I had just gotten married a month before COVID happened, so I left my wife for 2 months straight to be able to take care of these people who didn't have family. I knew she had her family to be with, so I felt better being able to leave her to be with her family while I took care of these men and women who didn't have families to be there for them and make sure they were safe and they were well taken care of. But it was hard because they were always so sad, and I feel like a lot of them kind of went into a depression, and they felt lonely because they didn't have their friends, didn't have their family. So I kind of took that upon myself to try to make them feel as loved and cared for as possible. I feel like they are a lot more happier for the most part, because within the last 2 weeks, majority of them went back to program, so they're seeing their friends from a distance. We're little by little allowed to take them out on outings, and they can go to the store. They might not be able to go in the store, but they can tell us what we want, and we can go in and get it for them. So we can do more outings. Their families are now allowed to come see them and visit them. So I feel like that took a big weight off their shoulders. It's some normality coming back to their lives. And they've gotten used to wearing the face mask, so it's easier for them now. In the beginning, it's like, why do you have to wear these? Or what are these for? Or this is annoying. And now it's, okay, I put my face mask on to go out and enjoy my life, basically. Once I left after those 2 months, it was hard for me leaving for weeks at a time, because then I'm like, okay, what's going on with them? I'm not there. I know their routine. I know what they want and they need already, because I've been there 2 months straight with them. So now it's kind of like they have a routine with me. They're used to me being there. And when I would come in, they're like, oh my God, you're back. Because they were used to me already. So it made me feel good. And I'm extremely proud of the men and women in my house and my staff, because it was very rough being there. A lot of us left our families for weeks, for months at a time. And for them, as hard as it was, they did a really good job going through the process of having to be locked in, having to be stuck with the same staff constantly, not seeing their families. They did a very good job, and I'm very proud of them. And I think if they had to, they'd be ready to do it again if they had to. because they know that we're there to take care of them, and they know that we're gonna always be there to take care of them. If I had to describe the GEC in one word, I would have to say it would be togetherness. Because no matter what trials and tribulations we went through, we were still able to be together, stay together and work together to bring the ladies, the women and men of the GEC together and keep them together.
I've known Paul Cassone, GEC's former CEO and executive director, for many years, and did not know of his many talents as a musician, singer, and songwriter. Paul wrote an original song called Everyday Heroes. This song pays special tribute to GEC's heroes and to all heroes who've gone above and beyond during this crisis. Thank you, Paul, for your inspiration and talent.
Hey there, my name is Paul Cassone. I have a brother named Frank who lives in one of the Guild's residences. I want to thank the Guilds for the tremendous work they've done with him all these years, and particularly through the pandemic, where it was especially challenging. As I thought about their work and how difficult it must be during the pandemic, and of all the people who are out there putting themselves at risk, whether it be police, firefighters, people driving buses and trucks, people driving the trains, working at the bodegas and food stores, it struck me that they were heroic in what they did, and I wrote a song called Everyday Heroes. I'd like to play it for you right now, and I hope that you enjoy it. When the going gets tough and every day is so rough, it's so hard to get up in the morning. All I hear is bad news, the COVID-19 blues, like nothing I've ever lived before. There are heroes and villains, people making killings, selling things that we all need. But there are people who shine out on the front lines, helping us all get by. I thank the everyday heroes, for they are a ray of sunshine. They go out every day, though they don't get much pay. Their work is truly divine. I thank the everyday heroes, 'cause they put their lives on the line. They heal us and feed us, protect us and teach us. They do it with love every time. And now it's their time to shine. When this war is over, I hope that we remember the ones who helped us get by. When push came to shove, they gave us their love, risking their own lives every day. I hope we hooray them and increase base pay them, 'cause this war taught us who is who. So join me in singing and thankfulness bringing to our everyday heroes. Let's thank our everyday heroes, for they are a ray of sunshine. They go out every day, though they don't get much pay. Their work is truly divine. Let's thank our everyday heroes, 'cause they put their lives on the line. They heal us and feed us, protect us and teach us. They do it with love every time. And now it's their time to shine. Let's thank our everyday heroes, 'cause now it's their time to, now it's their time to, now it's their time to shine. Thank you, everyday heroes, and thank all of you who are helping support the Guild. Best regards, be safe, be careful, and happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Hear a testament of strength and gratitude from DSPs Aaron Pessin, Shaquana Jameson, and Gerald, a GEC program participant.
If I could describe the GEC in one word, it would be family. I became a DSP because I like to give, and I have a big heart, and I care. I assist my residents with showers, their daily goals. I transport them to and from school, appointments, and daily activities in the community. My house got locked down April 1st. So during the pandemic, I worked 1 week on, 1 week off. But sometimes I didn't go home because I worked my house, I worked D. Filippo residence, I worked the step-down unit, and I did the hospital shifts. So at times I didn't go home for weeks straight. And as long as my guys came back good, then I was okay with working. After the pandemic hit, life changed kind of drastically, more so for my residents than for me, because they had to learn we're not going out for the day, different rules are in place, and just getting them to understand the safety that they have to follow now and be cautious of the things that they're doing. My main goal and mission during COVID was to ensure the safety of my guys, to make sure that my guys stay healthy. I took them on as family from the very beginning, and that's how I've been going forward. The residents did good with their changes. What most people expected, that they would act up or they would feel down, but they didn't. They did very well. They adjusted very well, and they understood the severity of what was going on. I believe all DSPs in the GEC is here because they have a heart. You know, I don't believe you could come into this field of work without a heart, because at days it is very challenging. And if you could get through those challenges, then you have made it. You can have a bad day and they're gonna come in and know you're having a bad day, and they brighten up your day. So getting into this field of work has been nothing short of amazing for me. I would ask people to support the GEC because what they don't know is a lot of our individuals don't have family, and we are their family. So with us being their family, you know, we have to continue and ensure that they are loved, that they are respected. The individuals at GEC has made me a better person, a better individual, and I think we have about 12 houses, and I probably covered about 9. So I'm very willing to work and get to know each and every one of these guys. Majority of these guys, I can pinpoint something about them. When they see me, they know it's Quana, and they make me feel loved, and I love them back.
And what are your concerns for the future?
The safety of my guys, because they're more vulnerable to a lot of this stuff that's going on, and I just would like to make sure that they stay safe.
I work at the GEC, and I've been working here for over almost 5 years, over 4 years now.
So you don't come to work like this every day?
No. This is another part of me. I do bring these puppets. Hi, how you doing? I started performing as Happy the Clown over 25 years ago in 1995. And it was always something I was gonna do as like a temporary thing on the side. And now I feel like it's my go-to thing whenever I wanna connect with people in a real emotional and loving way. I can access this at any time. I never thought I'd be doing it for 25 years. At the day program, suddenly the entire program went virtually. So I felt like I wasn't really serving a purpose. I was like a talking head in a box. So I started offering to volunteer to work wherever they wanted me to, in nursing homes, in hospitals, and I did shelter in place in residences. And then on my own time on the weekend, because I felt like it was such heavy work working with them in the hospitals. To kind of like really feel like I could connect to them in general, I was going to the residences, and I got the idea from when I felt like we were in a war, and I felt like I was on a USO tour, where they used to, they used to go and entertain the troops. And that's how I felt, like they were stranded in the house. I went to about 13 of the residences, and they would come outside, and I was making them balloons, and they were really excited because a lot of times this was like 2 months into the pandemic, and a lot of them never even, like I was the first form of entertainment, live entertainment, other than like Zoom or TV. So I could see they really appreciated it. When I feel like I want to reach them, particularly when I'm in the hospitals and the nursing homes, I bring the puppets, and I use the puppets to motivate them, like my way of connecting with them and helping them through a painful time where they're confused. Most of them don't even understand why they're in the hospitals, in the nursing homes. They didn't understand why they got the coronavirus or what it was. A lot of them didn't even understand it. I became a DSP because I have a giving nature, and I like to help people and connect with them. And I particularly like connecting with the special needs population. When I first started as a clown, I was entertaining at charity events, and there were a lot of special needs kids there. And I loved the way I would connect with them. A lot of them that are autistic or developmental delayed, they'll have long conversations with the puppet, and they're not talking to me. It opens them up, and it's kind of fascinating how it opens them up. I started going back to the residences that I was entertaining them at as a clown, and I started doing sheltering in place there as a DSP, and they kept saying, "We want Happy to come back." So, but I did everything else. I brought the balloons, I brought the puppets. I'm going to give this all to you, that this is going to encourage you to all put a smile on your faces during this tough time. And I want to just remind you that this too shall pass. Hang in there, and we'll all get through this together.
This is really crazy.
How you feeling? Good?
I feel all right. Congratulations, all the P's. Congratulations, everybody.
What were you doing during that time in the residence?
I be in my room. They helped me. They helped me a lot.
They helped you a lot?
Yes. I said thank you, everybody. I do it that way. I said all. Thank you all. Keep going what you have to do. GEC is strong.
Entering the virtual realm has enabled us to keep connected, productive, and inspired during these difficult days. Let's take a look at expressions of gratitude from GEC preschoolers and program participants.
dance? Do you wanna dance?
Jennifer Hughes, GEC's DSP, and Roberta, GEC program participant, have an important message to share with you.
I've been a DSP for just over 3 years. It means we offer support to the individuals that live in the house. We help with making them more independent, giving them, challenging them to be more independent, and taking care of them, giving them their, helping with meals, making their doing their meds. I actually started because my daughter worked here. She worked for the Guild at English House. So when I was in between jobs, she thought this would be a really good fit for me. So I came, and I'm so glad I did. It was like the best thing I ever did. At the beginning of the pandemic, we realized that there was probably going to be a lockdown and that we would be doing week-long shifts. It was a difficult decision because, I have a family at home also, but I thought that it was the best way to protect the individuals that I work with and my family, because it was less traveling, less in and out at the house that I work at. So I made the decision to stay and do the week-long shifts. At the beginning of the pandemic and the week-long shifts, it was a challenge. They were really unsure of what was going on. They were so accustomed to their routine and expecting certain staff to be there at certain shifts. So it was a challenge. They had a lot of questions, and it was difficult to answer because we were unsure of what was going on also. So you wanted to have honest conversations, but also keep a positive attitude and try and make them feel safe as everything was unfolding, because everything was changing day by day at that point. It's still a challenge at times, but they adapted so well. Like, they do that with everything. Now it's like very comfortable, almost, this routine. And they were so happy when they finally got back to come back to workshop. So that was exciting. Every little bit of progress we make, you keep reinforcing that, saying, see, we're moving in the right direction. I love working here. It's like the best thing that ever happened to me. I gained so much knowledge that helped with my personal life. My father got sick. There were things that I didn't know before that I was able to help him with. I love working in the house I work at. I love all of the individuals. It's the best thing I ever did. I'm hoping that the positive trend continues, even in the face of what we're seeing lately, but I mean, we just have to deal with what comes as it comes. So, I mean, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about the guys, like our relationships have become stronger with my teammates, with the individuals I work with. Just that you can face anything. I mean, whatever we have to deal with, we can face, and we can deal with it, and we'll move on, and we'll get stronger.
What is your name?
Roberto Lopez,
How long have you lived in the GEC residence?
2001.
How has it been during this time? Difficult with the COVID?
It's hard.
Are you friends with the DSPs?
Yes, I am. I like to thank all the DSPs.
What did they do for you, Roberta?
They help us. Yes, they cook for me.
And
They clean for me. We barbecue in the backyard.
what's your favorite meal?
Lasagna. The DSPs help us to live longer. I would like to thank all the DSPs for all they do for us, for they give for exceptional adults.
Once again, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to be part of the Guild family. Getting to meet and know so many of you over the years has been very special for me. I look forward to a COVID-free future when we can all be physically together again to celebrate each other and spend time together. The list of GEC's heroes will scroll at the end of this program. Please remember to text GEC to number 56512 to make a contribution to the Guild for Exceptional Children. You can make a difference. Please remember to go on the Guild for Exceptional Children Facebook page to view the live drawing.